Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found. Of course, taped live at Twitch. Twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. Of course, this Sunday, we've got AW Double or Nothing live reactions. You, me, the Enforcer.
Where's the belt? That's on the line.
I think it's the no. It's this one right here.
Shiny stuff back
it's
there.
It's this one right where my pen is. That's it right there.
All right,
that's
all right.
Impact,
it's
and that's
the
Trios.
on the tiny little, the tiny little screen.
So that's
shiny
very exciting. Who you got? Cody or a Go-Go?
I'm not gonna tell you.
It's Cody is the right answer. Also, this Wednesday, this is more exciting than that. To be honest with you, this is very exciting, Larson.
Well, go ahead.
Quizzlemania Tag Team Edition. We're gonna be fighting for those tag team titles, Larson. Are we gonna study this time?
Well, it depends. I need to know that you have my back on this. There's all this talk already from you on Twitter that you're gonna turn on me, and find yourself a new partner.
Yeah, not just any new partner though.
Sorry, Alex, Queen of the Ring.
A former Quizzlemania champion?
How do you expect me to be invested in going for that W when in any second you could just stab me in the back? You call me a snake. You're a snake.
Look, Alex, I will fill out
because here's the thing. I would never so much as consider it. Never.
Really?
But no, never. I would never consider saying, all right, I'm gonna join up with someone else because it improves my chances of winning. I would never do that.
Yeah, super team.
I'm going in Raw for life.
Well, I got to keep my options open. I'm just saying, Alex, I will fill out the tag team registration forms.
Snake.
If you're interested.
Steve's a snake.
Power team right there, the Mega Powers. Anyways, wrestling history is littered with swerves, new teams being formed, et cetera, et cetera. But we'll see. I have a feeling. Listen, man, here's the thing, though. If they did what they should do over there at Parts Fun Known and make the tag team quizzes sections about which tag team knows each other best, then it's a no-brainer. We were winning last time. But if they asks questions about who was WWE Tag Team Champions 2010 to 2014,
and that's when you're going to stab me in the back.
I got Alex over there, Queen of the Ring. Oh, she's here in chat. She's ready for the tag. She's ready for the hot tag. Tag me, Alex. Tag me in. Or I tag you in. Oh, Joshi and Raw. How about that?
This could be
Queen here.
This could be the very beginning of the implosion of Going in Raw.
And the Raw.
Because I swear, as God is my witness, if you turn on me at Quizzlemania.
Oh, no. What?
I'm out.
You're out.
I'm out.
You're out.
Oh, no, I'm not going to abide by that kind of betrayal. Hell no. Tom Tori here in chat says, I can't understand Steve. It's just a hissing noise.
She's walking away slowly. Oh, man. See, the thing about Quizzlemania is that the build is more fun than the nightmare anxiety situation of actually being there live in front of 5,000 people and relying on what I've forgotten in my wrestling knowledge. But anyways, let's go ahead and we should probably talk about Alex, as I can never turn on KB. Oh, Alex, but you could. All right, here we go. What are we talking about today? Wrestling stuff, I guess?
Yeah, wrestling stuff, right. Not the interpersonal drama between Steve and I. We're talking about John Cena. John, he hasn't been on WWE TV since disappearing. At the conclusion of the Firefly Funhouse match, of course, against the Fiend Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 36. But could WWE be planning his return? Dave Meltzer reported over the weekend that WWE had discussed bringing Cena back when the promotion returns to the road in mid-July. But given Cena's busy schedule, being an actor and such, would he even be available?
I want to be an actor.
I want to be an actor.
From Inside Games or Inside Gaming. Remember?
Yes.
It was The Sims.
Yes.
I can't say what his name is on the...
I remember. PW Insider's reporting that, quote, production on Cena's HBO Max series Peacemaker is slated to end July 6th. in Vancouver, British Columbia, unless there is an unforeseen circumstance that leads to delay in shooting. But they do note they have been unable to confirm whether there are any plans for Cena to return. I mean, obviously, WWE wants to make as huge a splash as possible when they get back in front of fans, when they get back on the road. So I wouldn't be shocked if they were talking about trying to find a way to bring John Cena back, Brock Lesnar, Becky Lynch.
Yeah, those are the three big names that are sort of outstanding at this point that they could bring in. I don't know which one is more or less likely between. I mean, Becky is coming back. I believe that she'd definitely come back once fans are back. Once she's ready to go. She's kept in phenomenal shape, obviously. Cena and Brock, I mean, we had heard not that long ago that Brock might just have quietly retired, but, also money goes a long way, but he's also made a lot of money. So, maybe he just wants, I think his kid is like wrestling now. So maybe he just wants to be, dad to wrestling possible. Kid.
That's entirely possible.
Which would be pretty great. But yeah, I mean, that'd be cool. I don't know. I think that they need to focus on, bring Becky back for sure. Cena versus Roman, I think, could be fun. I think Roman versus Brock, especially given the Paul Heyman dynamic, could be a lot of fun. But yeah, Cena. I guess my only hesitation is this. I think you should make the first episode back in front of fans about the wrestlers who have been there during pandemic.
Agreed.
So if Cena comes back for that first episode and he opens it up, it's like, wait a second, dude, where have you been? Like these other stars. Big E, Cruz, Roman, even Roman was gone during the PC era, which was like, a low. At least with Thunderdome, you have like faces out there. Give it to the people who have the stars
Agreed,
who have
100%.
been there,
On Raw, have Drew come out, introduce the show like he's done.
He's been there every single week, day in, day out. I agree. Like he'd had to do that so many times to an empty arena and introduce the show. Have him do it for the fans, even if he's not champion. That he deserves that.
You got that right.
He deserves that.
You got that right.
But if it meant, hey, let's, I don't know if it's a one-off thing. I don't know about bringing Cena in unless they're going to do even a short program of some sort. I mean, I don't know. What do you say? First SmackDown back, Roman versus Cena in the main event. Yay or nay? Would you do that?
Oh, I think it's more likely if they want that match, they start the build to it for a pay-per-view. Let's
say he could only give you one day. Let's say, hey, I can be there for that SmackDown, but he's a busy guy. If he's there for that one SmackDown, what do you do with him?
And outside of the shooting commitments for all the various things he has, we don't know what in terms of insurance. Even when he's not shooting, what his availability is. If he has a window of time between shoots. Can he even wrestle at all?
Let's say he's cleared to wrestle. He can wrestle.
But he only has one day.
You have SmackDown. That's it. Do whatever you want.
You do that.
You do that, right?
You do that. Yeah, you obviously do that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big rating right there. If that's the only, if you have Cena for one day, you can wrestle. Have him wrestle.
Yeah, you do it for that one day.
So yeah, we'll see. But I think that you got to give that rub to the people who have been there.
Totally.
Maybe have a return of some sort. Finn comes back. Finn shows up on SmackDown or something like that.
Yeah, that's another name to add to the list of someone that could show up on Raw or SmackDown and make an impact. To be Finn Balor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
He's got his rematch against Karrion Kross tomorrow on NXT, and assuming he doesn't win that belt, I don't know what else there really is for him to do in NXT.
I don't know. I mean, they sort of have gotten to the point where they need to figure out what to do. We've talked about this endlessly in the NXT recaps. They need to figure out what people are going to do post-championship reigns. Like, it seems like Io Shirai's taking a bit of a break right now because she hasn't been on TV. Yeah, she hasn't really been on TV the last 2 weeks.
I feel like she might have had like an interview or something.
She had that one the tape session when Frankie Monet interrupted, but I don't remember if she's been back since then.
Before we continue, here's a word from the sponsor of today's show, BetterHelp. Several years ago, while dealing with severe anxiety, I learned the importance of talking to a therapist, but also discovered that it could be extremely difficult to find the right person to talk to. Today, BetterHelp is providing a safe and private online environment where your needs will be assessed and you'll be matched with your own licensed personal therapist.
BetterHelp isn't a crisis line, nor is it self-help. It's professional counseling done securely online, all without having to ever sit in another uncomfortable waiting room.
BetterHelp is dedicated to facilitating great therapeutic matches. Send your counselor messages at any time or schedule regular weekly phone or video sessions. And they've made it free and easy to change therapists if needed.
And you don't have to limit yourself to counselors in your area. BetterHelp's services are available worldwide, so you can find the expertise you need regardless of location.
We want you to start living a happier life today. As a Going In Raw listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting our sponsor at betterhelp.com/raw. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health.
Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw. So this is kind of interesting. The Velveteen Dream, of course, recently released from WWE. Patrick Clark posted a lengthy statement to his Instagram detailing not only the genesis of the character Velveteen Dream, but also a denial of the misconduct allegations that were made against him last year. And he blamed those allegations for leading to his WWE release. We're not going to read the entire thing because it's very long, but
very long, yes.
We'll read a little bit of it. He starts off by saying the allegations from April 20th, 2020 have effectively derailed any upward momentum I had professionally and has ultimately resulted in my termination with WWE. My name is Patrick Clark, not the Velveteen Dream. Velveteen Dream is a character that I have spent years developing and trying to bring to life. The success of the Dream character relied heavily on kayfabe, my ability to blur Patrick Clark from Tough Enough with this over-the-top personality. This next part was pretty interesting because I didn't realize this. He says, the character was conceptualized the day Prince passed, April 21st, 2016. I knew nothing about him at the time, but my thinking was that I could use my interpretation of Prince to create an on-screen personality vastly different from who I am as a person. Cue Velveteen Dream, a sexually ambiguous, gender-fluid, self-absorbed Devo. And as I learned more about Prince, I began to tame certain aspects of the character, aspects that I deemed way too over-the-top and inconsistent with who Prince was as a performer. He goes on to thank people who enjoyed him and approached him. Let's say he gives an example in Walmart. He says, my goal is to provide you with the same escape that I was offered when I first started watching. My job is to play a character and to help advance storylines and drama for the fans who care to tune in. So he talks about a little bit why he didn't address those allegations directly. He says, to me, addressing rumors would be working against an already compromised ability to sell a character I've invested in so heavily. After I had been accused, I was given the opportunity to be in storylines that lasted a few months, and I worked in a few segments unrelated to the story arc, but now feel comfortable in this position to share with you the details of my accusations. And he details, from his perspective, the two instances of allegations that were brought to him, and he denies any wrongdoing. So his story is out there. He punctuates it by saying, God has always had me, and he always will. Dream is officially over, but Patrick Clark lives to fight another day. When asked about this months ago during one of the takeover conference calls, Triple H basically pushed on it and said, I believe he said something like that. We've looked into it and we found nothing, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think that was the gist of it. Yes.
I'm curious as to what would have changed here, in terms of what reasons they had for terminating him, but we're never going to know that information. So he says his piece. The allegations are out there, and I guess that's going to be that. The only question now is, will he continue to pursue professional wrestling, and will anybody bite on that? And that remains to be seen.
That does remain to be seen, because I have no idea. Given the natures of the allegations, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd be hard pressed to think any major company would anytime soon. But
I mean, I guess I would think that AEW would probably be a non-starter. I would actually guess that any company here in the States would probably be a non-starter. Maybe New Japan. I don't know. I mean, they have their own way of looking at things and seeing, hey, what would be best for our business? Would this be a liability? Would it not be a liability? Could it help us? all I can say is it'll be interesting to see what happens from here, but I don't know. I
don't know either. I don't know.
So yeah. Anyways, the continuing developing story, I guess.
Yeah. Another developing story. Keith Lee, of course, he's been off WTV since February, and there really hasn't been a whole lot of information as to why he's been gone, apart from reports that he just isn't medically cleared. Apparently, though, Lee's absence fueled speculation over the weekend that he had been released by WWE. I hadn't heard this until Sean Ross Sapp posted something about it. He looked into it. He inquired and then reported back the following, quote, WWE officials and talent have both confirmed to me that Keith Lee has not been released, debunking a vague rumor that was gaining steam this afternoon. Keith Lee has posted several times on Twitter, more or less saying, don't know what's going, I essentially have no update.
Yeah.
Remains to be seen what's going to happen.
Yeah. So, I mean, strictly coming from the point of view of we're both big fans and we want to see him on TV. It's difficult to understand, his tweets have been vague, which is completely in his right. It is nobody's business what his health situation is.
100% correct.
Let me ask you this, and I'm just throwing this out there. From a business point of view, let's say I'm an investor.
Yeah.
We understand that the health of the WWE is related to the health of their talent and their ability to entertain and bring in advertising revenue. Would it benefit WWE from a business standpoint, not to go into specifics, but to have, if a wrestler is not cleared, to make that public at all?
I mean, there's HIPAA rules you got to consider as well.
Sure.
They would need, I believe, Keith Lee's permission to do that.
Yeah,
I think. So I don't know if
in the world of professional sports, there's the teams have official injury lists.
They have injury lists and such that they have to report publicly. Yeah.
And what would be? I'm asking you. I don't know. Yeah. In terms of like HIPAA violations with that.
Well, I think generally speaking, I don't know. There's probably some language in the contract because I think for the NFL, it's like in the rules that if someone is injured, you have to disclose that.
Yeah, right.
So I would imagine, I don't know specifically, but I would imagine there would actually be language in the contracts where, by and large, they don't disclose. If someone tore their ACL, they'll obviously disclose that. But generally, if there's some sort of illness, they'll generally just say illness.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, for example, when players were tested positive for COVID, I don't believe the teams ever publicly, I could be wrong about this. I don't think the teams ever publicly said who had tested positive. I don't think, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Again, I could be wrong.
I'm just sort of curious about the difference.
Yeah,
obviously WWE is not a professional sport.
Yes.
It's
another thing.
Sorry
to go back to the professional sport aspect of it, because like in baseball, for example, if a player is injured, he gets put on the injured list. That's a roster spot that's available. Then the team can then either sign somebody or bring someone up from the minor leagues to fill that spot until the player's healthy again. So there's various reasons why that information is for major league sports, professional sports, it's publicly disclosed, I think, or at least a matter of team record publicly. But as far as in terms of how that pertains to wrestling, I have no idea. I don't know what the language of their contract is. Don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, hopefully he's doing well, and
yes.
And because I'd love to see him back on TV. I think
definitely.
everybody.
The hope is that this isn't anything serious.
Right. Exactly.
And his health and well-being is first and foremost in all this. So, exactly. Hopefully he's doing well. And, if everything goes right, hopefully we'll, and if he's healthy, hopefully we'll see him back on our television screens soon, but not until he's healthy.
I mean, even like with the Samoa Joe situation, it was like you'd get some stuff from him saying, yeah, we're trying to figure it all out. And, and yeah, I don't know. It's like, it's certainly one of those things where it's like, I think it's just, as a fan, it's like, man, I'd love to know more, but you have to also understand it's really none of my business.
Nope, none of her business.
Yeah.
And Mia Yim was, I saw somewhere that Mia Yim people are asking, and she's like, that's what she was saying.
She said it's none of your business. Exactly.
Yeah, none of your business.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, hopefully he'll be back soon, and hopefully he's, his health is top notch.
Yep. Exactly.
All right. Before we continue, here's a word from the sponsor of today's show, Manscaped. Hey, Larson.
Yeah.
Father's Day is almost upon us, and we're all on the lookout for the ideal gift for the hairy dads in our lives. Imagine surprising your dad with a body hair trimmer that says your balls will thank you right there on the box. Make your dad proud this year and get him, or yourself, the Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0.
Being a hairy dad myself, I could speak of the horror of trying to do some grooming down there.
Ugh.
Shaving a bit too close.
Ooh.
But you know what? We're here to tell you the days of having to worry about nicks and cuts to your undercarriage are over, thanks to Manscaped's new Lawnmower 4.0.
Now, you may ask yourself, hey, me, how is Lawnmower 4.0 different than other trimmers? Well, me, I'm happy you asked. You see, Manscaped's 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology, as well as a 4000K LED spotlight so you can see exactly where and what you're shaving.
Manscaped also has other options for all your dad's grooming needs. Does your dad have a thicket of nostril or ear hair?
Ugh.
Then gift him a weed whacker, nose and ear hair trimmer. And don't waste time and money getting your dad a gift he'll just put in a drawer somewhere and forget about and never use. Get him the gift he'll use. Give him the gift of Manscaped.
That's right. And right now, get 20% off plus free shipping with the code RAW at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code RAW. Don't forget that you came from your dad's balls. This year, show your original home some love with Manscaped.
We got a brief Raw preview. If we want to get into this now.
Yeah.
First item here, we got a women's tag team championship bout. Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax challenging the champions, Natalya and Tamina, tonight. And then we got Riddle and Xavier Woods going one-on-one on Raw. That's all they had on WWE.com, unless there's more on their
second.
Twitter. What?
Didn't they? Oh, never mind. That wasn't that. Okay. Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, Natalya, Tamina. Didn't we see?
Wait, what'd you think?
Was this the first time this is their actual rematch, isn't it? They haven't, since they lost their titles, did they have a rematch yet?
I don't think
I've seen so many variations of them because I know that it was Baszler and Jax and Bianca. And,
that's the problem is they've wrestled so much that all their matches kind of just, fused together in my mind.
Like, wasn't there a segment on
SmackDown Friday? There was a 6-woman tag match that opened the show.
But then on Raw, there was like Lana, Naomi, Mandy Rose, and Dana Brooke. They're all arguing over who gets the next shot.
Yeah.
And then...
Is this that shot? I don't remember, dude.
It's just, this is the problem, man. They don't... Like, with this situation here, with the women's tag division, it's been such a, like, clumpy mess that, like... Okay, so Rich says, yeah, they had a rematch last Monday. They had a rematch last Monday on Raw? There's been so... Yeah, look into that.
I'll check. What was last Monday? Let me check real quick. Because, yeah, I know. It's like, I appreciate they're really putting a focus on the women's tag division.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And having the story carry over between both brands.
They really need some focus, though. They really need to. They need rankings, at least for that division.
Well, and also the issue, too, is when they have these feuds, it's like two teams. And they just wrestle over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, I know.
Until they just kind of seemingly arbitrarily say, all right, feud over.
Mm-hmm.
And then they repeat that same kind of thing going forward. So, yeah. Okay, so last week there was a match, Natalya and Tamina versus Shayna and Nia. And that's when Alexa came out and did the ringside pyro, and that knocked Reginald off the apron. And Tamina and Natty hit a heart attack after that to get the win. So it was essentially they won thanks to Alexa Bliss interference.
So
effectively.
This is kind of interesting, and I'm sorry to harp on this, but it was just so HIPAA often excludes employers. The privacy rules only apply to covered entities. Under HIPAA, a covered entity is either a health plan, healthcare clearinghouse, or a self-insured healthcare provider. It may be a bit, this is editorializing here. It may be a bit unsettling to realize that many employers, in fact, are not covered entities, since the NFL does provide healthcare facilities and acts as an intermediary between medical providers and employers. The fine line becomes even more blurred, because I guess there's there's a lot of debate in the media about HIPAA and how it applies to the NFL, and all sports leagues, providing information and demanding information of their employees. I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff.
That is interesting.
So wait, last week there was a tag match?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then that's when Alexa came out and did the pyro on the ring posts and knocks Reginald off the ring steps.
Is it going to be Alexa again tonight? It's just something weird wonky, something else wonky.
It's the same thing.
Something else wonky is going to happen.
Yeah, totally.
Can we just split? I was against splitting Nia and Shayna for the longest. Can we just split them and it's over? Just get it over with.
See, because as good as they are as a team, and they're fun as a team, if they take that same level of chemistry in a feud, it could be really good.
I know it could.
It could really benefit both of them.
I know. Anyways, let's answer some questions.
Let's do that.
I've got a question thread up on the Twitter, and I'm sure we've got some friendos here in our Twitch chat that want to ask some questions. So if you want to do that, they can do that.
Sure. Yeah. I got one here from Kirsten. Says, if you guys ever brought out your own beverage, what kind of drink would it be, and what would you call it? Say we crafted a beer.
I want like a cream beer, like a nice creamy.
You mean like a nitro? Or do you want like a cream ale?
Yeah, like a cream ale.
Okay.
That sounds good.
Well, it'd be the cream of the crop then.
There you go. See, collaboration. That's good. See, we do make a good tag team.
Or if it's a nitro-based beer, we can call it like Monday Night Nitro.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, Monday Night Nitro. New Jack 31 here in the chat says Alexa might not be on tonight because she's been saying her pig is very sick. That's right. She's been trying to find a vet for her pig because for some reason her vet says they're not comfortable treating her pig. She says that oftentimes vets don't want to treat pigs. I don't know what the deal with that is.
Yeah. I mean, I guess maybe it's not something they do generally in the normal order of their practice. Pigs are a pet, obviously, but they're not as common as dogs and cats and whatnot.
Man,
I don't know.
Check this out.
They just don't feel comfortable treating them.
All sorts of stuff is happening on June 12th. Isn't June 12th the Caljack Amped Wrestling match?
Yeah, that's the same day as Impact Against All Odds. That's Kenny versus Moose.
And then in Anaheim, man, I can't believe in Modesto there was a Laredo Kid was there.
Psycho Clown.
Check this out. June 12th in Anaheim, Andrade versus El Hijo del Santo. So El Santo's Hijo is they're going to be in action.
Yeah. Man. Yeah, I saw that.
Why can't it be here in Sacramento?
I mean, if it were, we probably wouldn't know about it till after it happened.
That's a good point. What the heck?
B-Man Patrick Sparks, what would you like to see happen now that Will had to vacate the IWGP title, and what do you think will happen?
One word.
Suzuki.
Shingo.
Oh, yeah, that's good, too.
Suzuki would be good. Suzuki would be good, but Shingo.
He's never had that. He's never had that belt. Never had it.
Yeah, well,
Put on Minoru Suzuki. But yeah, Shingo's a good choice, too.
Yeah, realistic. Yeah. Oh, Asian
Looks
Mirror
like
has Dick Togo, the spoiler.
I mean, I suppose he could do that. Looks like Kota Ibushi's getting to a thing with Jeff Cobb based on gifs I saw on Twitter.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, that should be really good. Who else would be a contender? Yeah, I don't know. I mean...
Oh, Jay White.
Oh, yeah.
The belt collector.
Go ahead.
Patrick Sparks. Rick Sparks. What would you like to see? Oh, that was just him. Anthony Tobias.
Literally just asked that.
I know. Well, I didn't know you said it was Rick Sparks. Anthony Tobias says, Steve, loved your Stone Cold reviews, WrestleMania Backlash. What other pay-per-views can we get Stone Cold to review? That's the plan. The plan right now over there on, I do all my reviews of current stuff here at Going in Raw, of course. This is the bread and butter right here. But that's not going to preclude Stone Cold Steve Austin from reviewing pay-per-views himself over at Friendoville.
How about Stone Cold reviews previous backlashes?
Every week it's a previous backlash. That's good.
Yeah.
They had Backlash. They had Jinder Mahal pick up the WWE Championship. What a bad idea.
Kyle, if you had the power to revive a late pro wrestler back to life and let them have one more match against a currently active wrestler in either AEW, New Japan, or WWE, who would you bring back? And who would his or her opponent be? Note, you cannot choose the same wrestlers.
It'd obviously be Eddie Guerrero. Like, that'd totally be the case.
Against who?
Man. Eddie versus... I'd have Eddie get into a program with the head of the table.
Interesting.
That'd be that'd be great.
That would be good.
That'd be really good. Of course, he'd bring along Ray and Dom, his real son. They'd do a thing again. They'd revisit that.
Yeah. I'm going to go Macho Man against Okada. I think that'd be spectacular.
Yeah. Cream of the crop versus the cream of the crop. The Rainmaker. Oh, yeah.
Let's see here. Hall of
Nick,
Famer. Oh, go ahead.
With WWE planning on debuting new stage sets for the first live shows of Raw and SmackDown, power rank 3 things you want to see them change or add to the shows. All right, what show do you want? Do you want Raw or SmackDown?
Dude, SmackDown needs to bring back Rawgate. Like that, I thought was rad. That was really cool. Bring back Rawgate.
What they need to bring back is, you know how for the special pay-per-view sets they had the plywood signs.
Yeah.
That on standard definition television look pretty good, but if you're at the archives get too close or you're probably watching it in full HD, don't look great.
Yeah.
Bring those back.
Oh yeah, so they look 70 inches, 4K.
Yeah.
Looks
you
terrible.
You can see the grain of the wood. That's what I'm talking about.
Is that like an elementary school project? Why'd they bring this thing out? They should do, instead of those graphics that they have that are flying around, they should make those graphics look like Star Wars type holograms. Like make them look like old, like analog style holograms.
That's good.
Like the SmackDown Fist when they did the retro thing was great, but make it hologrammy.
Here's another thing to bring back. We saw a little bit of this for WrestleMania. The match cards, the graphics there, where people are moving, not just stills. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, I know exactly. What is it like?
Exactly.
Good. Let's see here. Hall of Famer Christian. Idea for the TNT belt once they go to TBS. Have Brian Cage get it, merge it with the FTW title, and continue its lineage as the FTW title. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I would like the FTW title to be like defended and be like a real thing. I think that'd be cool.
I know. It's kind of a missed opportunity for them.
They're going to do something with that TNT title. They'll make a big thing about it. They're going to rebrand it. Who's got it now? Miro's got it now?
Mm-hmm.
We come to call it. Yeah, I could see him being kind of a jerk and being like, oh, there's another TNT title anymore, buddy.
It's the Miro title now.
Yeah, it's the Miro title. And it's like he's just ripping off the H title. He just puts like a sticker, a hologram sticker of his face.
Holographic sticker of his face.
I know. I got to get a hologram sticker of Simon Miller's face and send that out to him in the UK so he could stick that on there.
Yeah, that'd be great. Sober Chad, all wrestling promotions come together and unanimously decide to have one undisputed champion. Give us the final 4 and who wins.
Roman.
Yeah. Okada.
Yeah, it got to be Okada.
Kenny.
Clearly it'd be Kenny.
And Moose.
Yeah. And guess what?
It's going to be Roman.
All 3 of those guys get stacked, and Roman pins them all. He smashes them, stacks them, pins them.
Pins them 1, 2, 3
for a 5 count. He's gonna have him pin. The ref counts 3, and then he says more, and then he's like, okay, 5 count.
It's like and Roman just says, no, keep counting. Come on.
And then
10,
finally
11,
somebody
12,
kicks and he's
13,
like,
14,
what are you doing?
15.
You're embarrassing me.
And everybody's like, oh my gosh, we get the point already. And then like at 17, someone kicks out.
Yeah, finally somebody kicks out and he just laughs at them.
NJWP, if you do a Friday mega show, 2 hours of SmackDown, 1 hour of Rampage, but you still look forward to it more than the Raw show.
Yeah, because it's variety. It's like, oh, wow,
Yeah.
cool. SmackDown's done. Let's go ahead or whatever order it's in. Let's do Rampage now. That's cool.
That'd be fun.
We'll see if that happens. That's a possibility.
The Wild Dude says, mostly for Larson, if you could pick any number of wrestlers to be in a cover band with you, who would they be and what would they play?
Who would they be and what would they play?
I guess you got to have Rick Booge on guitar.
Oh,
he could shred.
Terrific.
I'd have Xavier Woods on bass, but also trombone.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know of any wrestlers who play drums? I feel like there is, and I know who it is.
Sharon Cruz. Didn't she play drums in that one band?
Oh, YouTubian says Kazarian.
Kazarian plays? Okay.
He plays drums. Oh, Dakota Kai. That's also what I was thinking of, because I know someone on Twitter, she has an electric drum set. Dawkins. Yes, Dawkins plays drums too. We'll have two drummers. We'll have Kazarian, and we'll have Angela Dawkins. That's a good band right there. Asian Mur, who is Kafka, and what is her nightmare? Kafka was an author.
So Franz Kafka was an author, and he specialized in sort of like the nightmare
stories of existential dread.
Yeah. So like you go. So okay, if you want to really, I would suggest this. It's not. I don't think it's a translation. Is The Double a translation of a Kafka story?
I don't believe so.
It has a very. It's sort.
Yes.
I mean, it's the most recent film I can think of that has a very Kafka-esque feel to it. Sort of the nameless state, doing what they want with you. That kind of stuff.
I think the idea of a Kafka-esque nightmare is most kind of embodied by his story of the trial.
Right.
It's about someone who's on trial, but they don't know why.
Yeah. They're just taken in the middle of the night. They're put on trial. Yeah. He's like, what is this for? I don't know. I don't even know how that. I don't think there was a resolution.
Kafka also wrote a story called Metamorphosis about someone who wakes up and they're a giant bug.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really good. It's really good. Highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we liken it to being part of the WWE.
Simulated Vaishon Maximoff, sorry I got your name wrong, says not a question, but thank you for recommending BetterHelp to me. I've been going through a lot mentally, and it's to finally be able to speak with a professional about it. Keep being a positive voice, community. Thanks again.
Oh, that's awesome.
Awesome to hear.
That's
awesome
really
to hear
great.
That they were able to help you out. That's great.
That's fantastic. Sean Lathrop, who would have been the best illegitimate son storyline for Vince? Triple H, JBL, or Sandman? Okay, so take Triple H out because he married Stephanie. So you don't want to that sounds like something Vince would have loved, but you don't want to do that.
Sandman's the right answer.
Sandman really is the right answer. If Vince really understood what Sandman brought to the table and Sandman was on board with that, Sandman clearly would have been. Although I could see JBL being a good answer too, but Sandman's the answer.
JBL would probably be the son that Vince would want.
Of course, yeah. What if it turns out they were both? Can you imagine JBL and Sandman trying to coexist as brothers? What a weird situation that would have been.
That would be really weird. Lord Ziffer, what round of Quizzlemania do you think is your guys' best? Anything that plays up are the fact that how well we know each other.
Yeah,
like the newlywed game style stuff. Anything like that will be fine.
Just watch the first half hour of the last time we were on as a tag team, and we were killing it because when it
was less about wrestling trivia and how much you know your teammate.
Yeah. Oh man, it's not even close at that point. We dominate. But then they got to ask questions about who is Impact tag teams or something like that. Who is WWE tag teams between tag team champions?
Have you seen that new one? Have you actually watched it where you have to talk for a minute and not repeat words?
I still don't understand the concept, so I got to go back and watch that.
Yeah, watch it. I get it.
And then I'll watch the last tag team one they did.
For someone like me who is not the most articulate and pauses and says a lot.
Yeah,
That's going to be rough.
Nightmare.
I'm
not going to study nipples because I'm not going to get that. I'm not going to that's just going to be.
I think either you know it or you don't.
Either you know it or you don't. So I'm not going to study nipples. I am going to go and study just every tag team. All the whoever has been a tag team champion anywhere. I'm just gonna start researching that stuff. It's kind of the best I can do.
Gareth, who gets an invite to help out with Friendo Barbecue? Good old JR or Baron Corbin? I'm actually concerned about the quality of the meat.
Yeah,
I'm going with Baron.
I'm going with Baron. I mean, that dude.
Honestly, I'm not huge on barbecue sauce. First of all,
he's an enthusiast.
Yes,
he is an enthusiast.
Didn't he post something the other day, like 3 different kinds of filet? He was doing a shootout between 3 different kinds of filet.
Yeah, give him a show already.
Yeah, no,
absolutely. Honestly, his adventures in cooking meat is the only thing that keeps me interested in him as a character on screen on the TV.
Yeah,
if it wasn't for that, it'd be like, who is this guy?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about JR's skills at the grill when it comes to smoking.
Mm-hmm.
I know he has his own barbecue sauce. Again, I'm not huge in the barbecue sauce.
Dirty Rich says, the next time you guys hang out for more than a 10-minute stop at the other's home, what will you guys do together? I wouldn't mind in June, as long as you're comfortable with it, having you stop on by here and we'll do an extended gaming stream. Maybe we'll do a one-time Friendo Unified Championship Wrestling stream for charity. Somebody had suggested because it's Pride Month. I thought, that's a cool idea. Let's do that. So, that's the kind of thing that I wouldn't mind doing in the future. Maybe as a monthly thing,
Yeah. Mike Halloran, is this the worst WWE booking has ever been?
Dude, I don't know. I feel like, creatively speaking, it's the low point for Raw. For on one brand, it might be a creative low point. I mean, if you go back and watch Raw back in 94, 95, some of those are unwatchable because it's a line, just jobber match. Because I went through a phase where I was watching a bunch of them back to back. I was like, oh my God, they just wheeled out jobber match after jobber, and it was kind of unwatchable. So, I mean, I think there's probably been other periods, but given the length of Raw and just how repetitive and unimaginative their creative is, I feel like we're kind of experiencing a lull right now.
I don't think there's ever been a period where there's been such a huge disparity between the quality of the in-ring talent and the quality of the creative.
I agree, yeah. Because at least if you go back to 94, 95, their roster was not that deep. The talent pool really wasn't there. These days, they have immense talent that they're really misusing on Raw, and it's really kind of weird.
Yeah. Mr. Fabulous says, this is probably out there, but if you were Matthew, how would you handle the current Botchamania situation?
Is his YouTube channel still...
As far as I know.
I know he started, he posted the latest Botchamania on a YouTube channel, Botchamania Again. I talk about a Kafkaesque nightmare.
Yes.
YouTube.
Yes.
I don't know. I really don't. I mean, what I would suggest is to anybody out there who likes Botchamania, he's got a Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I know, he still has that. So go, help support him there.
Yeah, if you're looking to support him, that's probably the best way to do it.
He's got his own Twitch channel, and he also
in fact, he's on right now.
Oh, is he on right now? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll rate him after this. Absolutely a delightful human being, one of the most creative wrestling personalities. Botchamania is literally my favorite thing. It's the one thing on YouTube that I actually sit down and okay, I got to watch it now. So yeah, I don't know. It's a tough situation, but it's also, it's kind of an understandable one, understanding that when you get into YouTube, that kind of stuff happens, it's just, you cannot rely on YouTube if you're going to put up stuff that is legally fair use, but goes against YouTube's, copyright algorithm or whatever it is, the copyright, whatever they find that they call that thing.
Yeah.
It's just
Content ID.
Content ID is just one of the unfortunate realities of YouTube, but hopefully he finds a stable way to get his content out there because it's absolutely terrific.
It is. Unfortunately, on YouTube, there's really no good way to appeal on the grounds of fair use. You can try,
Yeah.
and sometimes you'll succeed, but with so much of it being automated these days, it's really it's difficult. It's difficult. It can happen, but it is difficult.
Yeah.
It is difficult. You mentioned Kafkaesque Nightmare, and that's kind of the situation where, like, I know, like legally I'm in the clear because it's fair use, and it definitely falls under that definition. But communicating that and having YouTube and whomever is trying to claim this stuff understand that is it seems to be quite an adventure in and of itself, trying to get that all worked out.
Yeah, absolutely. Dale and Dula says, recently you purchased a peach orchard. You've been selling delicious peaches from the orchard for a while.
Ooh,
and the business is doing so well that you'll need to open a full-scale canning factory to keep up with demand.
All right.
What pro wrestlers do you hire to help can your peaches? Who's the most workmanlike? Who would be best in a factory setting?
Does that have to be WWE wrestlers?
Doesn't say. Nope. No.
All
So
right.
The world over.
Outwork everyone.
Wow, Christian's going to can some peaches. See, that I think he could be a Hall of Famer at. Wrestling, not so much. I'm going to say Nails, because I'm pretty sure that in the prison he was locked up at, they would have him do like the license plate stuff where you just bang, 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 ding, 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 ding. They have him do that stuff. So I'm going to go with Nails. You go with Christian, probably on par with each other in terms of the legacy of their careers. Nails, Christian, on par. Hall of Famers, nope. Otis is a good one by Peach.
Yeah.
He was thinking of a different kind of peach though.
Dirty Rich has another question. Tell us how confident you are to finally claim the Quizzlemania tag titles on Wednesday. As I mentioned at the head of the show, I'd feel a lot better knowing that my partner, you, had my back through thick or thin.
Oh man,
and I don't feel that way right now.
No, absolutely,
So
I do.
That's going to be a weight on me, and that might hurt my performance if I can't trust.
Man, your knowledge base is going to determine whether or not you perform well. So we got to study. That's what we got to do. We got to study.
You got to study how to be a good teammate. It's what you got to
You've
study.
always been anti-studying, and I don't appreciate that. That's maybe why I've got a wandering eye for tag team partners.
I didn't study much in school, and that worked out pretty well for me.
Well, how did
I
it
got
work
good
out
grades.
for you in the 3 times been on Quizzlemania?
I've only been on twice.
How did it work out for you in the 2 times been on Quizzlemania?
Well, like the first time, I finished third.
Not
finished
very
last, at least.
well.
That was a lot of nerves, though. But here's the thing. The first time I was on, I actually gained ground in the latter half of the show where it's about knowing stuff. It was early on. It was the first 2 rounds, the eBay stuff, like 20 questions, that I stunk it up. After that, it got much better.
Make a limited edition Joshi and Raw shirt with me and Alex on it.
Oh,
Whether she likes it or not.
all right. Well, that could be your thing now, because I'm gonna go pursue other endeavors.
Oh, no, and not
That
other
happens.
endeavors. All right.
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll see how that all works out. Tune in on Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific.
Could witness the implosion of going in Raw.
Maybe. It's always possible. All right. Anyways, Twitch chat. Stick around. We're going to hang out for a little bit. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.